Well, hello and welcome. I'm going to get started right away. This webinar is entitled Inside the Maple Leaf Classroom, and we're going to have a look at a little bit about the BC curriculum, the World School curriculum, and some of the practices we have as we implement those in our classrooms here at Maple Leaf. And this is my first webinar, and I have been living on Zoom since last January, mid-January, as many of us have. And I've used Zoom a lot, but this is my first time using this format of Zoom. So very small learning curve, I hope. And I hope that you'll have a little bit of patience with me as I learn how to do things like poll and things like that. All right. I'm going to start off with sharing my screen and take you to the PowerPoint. There we go. And I'll just turn on my video so that we have some good bandwidth. And we'll see if we can get our video going, or our PowerPoint going. Okay, I'm sharing my screen and I'm not able to see you. So if someone can just give me a thumbs up or a hands up, then I'll know that we're good to go. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Carla. All righty. So here's a little bit about our agenda today. We're going to talk a little bit about the house rules, and then I'm going to take you on a short walk through the BC curriculum at Maple Leaf, through our Maple Leaf World School curriculum, which is new, and then we'll talk a little bit about developing our new global standards. Some of the house rules, we're going to do 3 sections. I'll stop and do question and answers after each section. I can't do anything that's case specific. We only have a limited time, but if you are a candidate, then there's someone that you will be connected with, and we can answer your questions that way. And we invite you, if you are not a candidate right now, to apply online, and you'll see that we have our website at the bottom. So just a little bit about me. I am currently the Assistant Superintendent at Maple Leaf. I am Jacalyn Kersey, and I know this will be hard for you to believe, but 24 years is what, actually this is my 25th year in education. 27th year, sorry. I'm not counting very good. I did not start out in math. I had 24 years in BC Public, and I've done 10 years of that when I was in middle school, mostly 7 to 9. Media arts was my love, my dream job. And after doing media arts for a few years, I was tempted to go into administration, where I've been a vice principal, a principal, and I've worked at a district office. Curriculum and program development is where I gravitated towards, and is somewhere that something I'm quite passionate about. And I'm very fortunate to be the assistant superintendent at Maple Leaf for the last 3 years, and I've been working on curriculum and program development. So it's nice when you like going to work every day. So a little bit about the BC program. Dr. Sherman Jen, he started the first offshore school, the BC Offshore School, in 1997. And the reason I wanted to point this out is that this was quite a leap of faith on both the part of the BC Ministry of Education and for China and Dr. Sherman Jen as well. Dr. Jen actually opened his first school in 1995 in Dalian, and he did so because his daughters were attending school in British Columbia and Vancouver. And the school system, he noticed, was very different from the school system in China that he had grown up in. And he thought that it would be a fantastic idea to blend the best of the Eastern education that he got in China with the Western education that he was seeing his daughters have in Vancouver. So he approached the BC ministry, and as I said earlier, they took that leap of faith with him. And in 1997, it was the first offshore school that was accredited by BC. And now Maple Leaf has 106 schools in 27 cities in China. So from 14 students in 1995, it's grown to having schools in China, Canada, Singapore, and Australia. And our current enrollment is 43,500. And those are students from pre-K up to grade 12. There are 6,000 plus employees at Maple Leaf. And over the years, and I should mention that we just celebrated our 25th anniversary. Over the years, from those 14 initial graduates, there have now been 16,500 high school graduates, and they have enrolled in over 650 universities in more than 30 countries in the world. This year has been a very interesting year, but our students have and have had the opportunity to complete their grade 12 with BC. And 67% of those graduates have received offers from top 100 universities throughout the world. So Maple Leaf has a strong foundation and has grown along with the BC Offshore Program. And one of the reasons that Dr. Sherman Jen chose the BC Offshore Program is because it is #1 in the world. And if you look at PISA results, which is a worldwide ranking system, Canada is consistently the top in that. And I'm from British Columbia, and we like to say in British Columbia, we're #1 in Canada, Canada's #1, therefore BC is #1. And BC is a fantastic curriculum for students who are learning to read and write and speak in a second language. It's very strong in the reading and writing skills. And we know that in order to give our students a very strong foundation to go to university, they need to have that strong foundation in reading, writing, and oral speaking. The BC curriculum is very competency-based. The core competencies are the heart of the BC curriculum. And those are communication, social responsibility, and critical and creative thinking. And they are integrated throughout the curriculum. And the content is viewed as a vehicle in order to increase those competency skills. So this is something that in the last 3 years with the new BC curriculum is a very different approach, where we're not just worrying about what students know and what they understand, but we're also worrying about what it is that they can do. And in order to be lifelong learners, they need to have all of these skills. The BC curriculum is very active. Students are moving around, they're engaged. There's a real contrast in a BC classroom to when I visit a Chinese classroom. And I see in our Chinese classrooms often that our students are sitting in rows and the teacher's at the front. And I have to say too, that in many Western classrooms, this happens too, where the teacher is the lecturer at the front of the room. And in the BC curriculum, the goal is to have students very engaged. So they're up, they're engaging in hands-on learning, inquiry and project-based learning. They're very involved in their learning, and they're encouraged to question and learn through discovery. One of the things that Maple Leaf has done is we're very supportive of our teachers who come, and then the BC curriculum is something that is new to them, and we want to support them as they learn the BC curriculum. So we have created something we call the global curriculum, and we post it on our SharePoint site. It is accessible to all of our teachers, and we provide professional development and training throughout the year on the BC curriculum. But we also write our course overviews, unit plans, and lesson plans for most of our courses for our teachers. We also provide resources and a great deal of support for active learning so that it's integrated throughout the classroom. We want our teachers to be very confident in their delivery of the BC program. We also want them to be very competent working with language learners. So within our global curriculum, we have developed 12 key teaching strategies, and they're specifically for language learners. We provide professional development to our teachers on this throughout the year. And we also have on our training hub a place where you can go and revisit when you want to refresh these as well. The 12 key teaching strategies include things like the use of visuals, vocabulary development, the use of reflective journals, the use of collaborative learning. And we want students to be very engaged in their learning and that active skill development, but we also want to be focused on language learning. So we make sure that we support our teachers and our students within that. We know that when our students come to us in grade 10 in our high schools and they've gone to a Chinese school from kindergarten through to grade 9, they may not have had any exposures to these skills that we've been talking about. So inquiry-based learning is brand new for them. Maybe they haven't had the opportunity to do much collaborative learning. So we scaffold these skills in. We know that in grade 10, we are introducing the skills. In grade 11, we're expecting more, and then we're expecting mastery when they are in grade 12. And our teachers have developed some really novel ways to do this, and they share a lot. So we have a teacher here in Dalian who developed a game. It's a leveling up game. It's very much like a computer game that students might play. And within their English class, they record and they self-reflect on their competency development, and then they can level up into different levels as they grow and learn. And that's kind of the view that we take with all of our students. We want to introduce it, we want to help them grow and learn, and then we want to help them level up. Ooh, it's time for a poll. Okay, this is my first time doing a poll, so. Give me 1 second and I'm going to launch it. Okay, hopefully you can all see the poll now. And what I'm wondering is, have you had experience in a competency-based system before? And I'll ask you, hopefully that you can see something on your screen there. Oh, there we go. So we've had, oh, thank you very much for answering the poll. I think competency-based learning is something that has caught on over the last 10 years. I know that we've looked at information from Australia, New Zealand, and Canada as we've been learning about competency-based learning about learning in order to integrate it into our world school curriculum. All right, thank you very much. So I'm seeing that about half of our participants have had experience in a competency-based system, but half had not. All right, I'll just give you 1 more second and I'm going to end the polling. So I can share the results with you there. And I'm just going to turn on my video for a second and I just wanted to comment that if you are someone who has not had experience in a competency-based system, one of the things that I'm very confident about at Maple Leaf is that we support our teachers very well in learning these things. And we have some structures built in that enable us to do this support. So I'm very fortunate that I have a team that works with me of system coordinators. And we have a system coordinator in each of the curriculum areas. And our system coordinators work with department heads, and in every single school we have department heads, and then our department heads work with teachers. So we provide professional development in August when folks are arriving. We have online professional development. We have monthly school-based and system professional development. But then we have this incredible support system of our system coordinators and department heads. We always pair our new teachers with mentors as well, so that they have lots of opportunities to learn, to go in and see what's going on in other classrooms and just develop that confidence in what they're learning. All right. I'm just going to share my screen again and we will move on. Thank you for your patience as yay. We're back up and rolling. Can I get somebody to give me a thumbs up or a hands up if you can see my screen? Oh, thank you again, Carla. And I'm just going to stop my video. And we're going to go on to our second part, which is talking a little bit about the world school curriculum. And this is something that is brand new and will be implemented this fall. And I know the big question that you have is, if BC is so fantastic, why has Maple Leaf decided to move away from the BC program? And actually the answer is that we're not moving away from the BC program. We are continuing with that competency-based learning in our K-9 foreign national schools. We have 3 of them currently in China, and we are growing our foreign national schools with plans to open, I know, at least 1 next year, maybe 2. So we're not ending our relationship with BC, but we are going to change direction in our high schools. One of the things that we found was 3 years ago when BC redesigned their curriculum, they moved away from standards and exams. And that's something that within British Columbia and within North America, everyone was culturally ready for, but we're finding that in China, that's just not something that culturally fits here. The other thing is that the BC curriculum is very regionally focused. So it focuses a lot on for example, if you're learning about social studies, you're learning about the local geography. First Nations learning that is based in BC is integrated throughout the curriculum. And we found that that's something that's difficult to engage our students in because many of them have not been to British Columbia. So we wanted to have something that was very relevant for them, as well as something that still has standards and exams. So we talked to our universities. Actually, there was a university roadshow, and we had a group of folks from our schools who traveled to 44 different universities on 3 different continents. And what they found when they asked about or for feedback on the plan to move to a world school curriculum is that universities were very supportive. We talked to them about developing a curriculum that was incorporating some feedback from our universities, was focusing on having our students ready for university, and on the opportunity to blend the best of the East with the West. And that's something that was a really exciting thing to consider. So given the feedback and the positive nature of the feedback from our universities, also positive feedback from UK NARIC and Cognia, who accredit us, we've decided to embark on this new World School curriculum. And that's been a focus of my job for the last year. And we've been working on a curriculum that is very truly internationally focused. So in the content, in the skills that we're developing, in the discussions that we're having, and the discussions that will continue on, it's very internationally focused. Creative thinking, creativity, problem solving, leadership, and communication remain critically important in this curriculum and are areas of focus. Some of this is similar to the BC program, but some of it is different. For example, you're not going to find critical thinking in here. And one of the things we found is that the connotation in the East around critical thinking is that it's very aggressive and it's challenging and not necessarily productive. So we're focusing on creative thinking and problem solving. And we'll be working with our grade 12s so that they have a good understanding of critical thinking, but we're not focusing on that. We've developed some new courses that will be throughout our curriculum, one of which is on leadership and global citizenship, and the other of which is on creative thinking and problem solving. And these courses were developed with the input of our universities in mind. We asked them, what knowledge and skills do students need to have in order to be successful when they come to your university? And they told us that they need to have self-regulation. Many of our students have been in a boarding school format for most of their, well, some of them since they were 6 years old, but some of them for most of their K to 12, they've been in a boarding school situation. So their lives have been very regulated. So self-regulation is something that's really, really important. They also told us that sometimes students who come from the East have not experienced failure before, or they don't have problem-solving skills that allow them to turn a failure into a learning opportunity. And some of this is around communication. So being able to go up and talk to a professor when you didn't get the mark that you were hoping for. Some of it is being able to cope with failing a course for your very first time and having those skills and knowledge of who do I talk to, how do I make a plan from here, and how do I turn this around into something that's positive, or how do I just dig myself out of that? So these courses, Leadership and Global Citizenship and Creative Thinking and Problem Solving, start in grade 10 and go through to grade 12, and they focus on getting students ready to be successful in university. This is one of the exciting things for me about designing a world school curriculum, is that there are opportunities to tie things together in a curriculum when you are starting from scratch. So we've done our best to really integrate things throughout all of the courses. We have rubrics that have the same language and can be used in many different classes and across all of the academic areas. For example, our English department has developed the Power Paragraph rubric and just an introductory essay rubric. And those are used in social studies, in science, anywhere that students are asked to do some writing. They will use these rubrics and they'll use the same language and expect the same skills from our students. So the skills that they're learning in English are being reinforced all the way across the system. I should mention here too that English is a very strong focus, as it should be in an English language learning program. And all of the students in the World School curriculum will have double English. So they take English each semester. We want to make sure that they have really strong reading and writing skills. And then throughout the curriculum, those skills are being reinforced. We have many commonalities, so things like we know in drama, we have students who are doing lots of presentations, but they're doing those presentations maybe in a science class as well. So we have developed rubrics, common resources that are shared across, so that again, the same expectations, whether we're talking communication, reading or writing, are built through. We've also built competencies all the way through. And those strategies for English language learners that I was talking about with the BC curriculum, those are integrated throughout our curriculum. So we make sure that our teachers are really strong in their knowledge of the competencies for World School and for the key strategies for English language learning. And then no matter what you are teaching, those are going to be coming up. So lots of common language, lots of common things throughout the World School curriculum. And here we have arrived at our second poll. So I have another question for you here. This one might take a few minutes because I gave you lots of choices, but take your time, and I'm interested to see what it is that you would focus on. And I remember this being a question when I was in my teacher college. If you could design your own curriculum, what would you include? What would you focus on? I'll give you a minute, and you can read over those and choose the ones that you would focus on. I'm an absolute curriculum geek, so for me, it was like, woohoo, I get to figure out what we're going to focus on here. I think some of the choices are difficult too. And maybe in this poll, it's not such a great poll because I'm sure you wouldn't just choose one of these. You would probably choose many of them, or you might choose all of them, but give them different levels of importance. I'm kind of forcing the issue here. Okay, I'm going to give you about 20 more seconds. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, it's hard to choose, I know. 1. I've ended the polling, and I'm just going to share the results with you. And as you can see, higher level thinking really won out on this one. But lots of you were thinking about communication skills, global citizenship, character development, academics. It's not an easy choice. But yes, higher level thinking I can see really won out there. Okay, I'm going to stop that. And I'm just going to share my screen. I'm sorry, I'm talking to the computer as I go. Here we go. Hopefully this will work, and we'll go on to our development of global standards. I get a bit of a lag, and it doesn't want to go to the next screen. So I'm like furiously hitting the arrow bar and nothing is happening. And then it goes 3. Oh, here we go. Perfect. All right. Again, Carlo, can you give me a hands up if you can see my screen and hear me? And what you are seeing here are the beautiful maple leaves. Oh, thank you for the raised hands. Beautiful maple leaves that are outside the Dr. Sherman Jen Library. And I'm fortunate in that I live on campus in Dalian, which is in Jinjitan, a national holiday resort here in Liaoning province. And every day when I walk to head office, I walk past these beautiful maple leaves. And it hasn't started yet. It's only June, but soon the fountains will be on too, and I'll be able to enjoy those. So, wow. So as I told you earlier, I'm a curriculum geek, so this is my favorite part, developing a global standard. I just want to share with you some of the work that we have done as we prepare the world curriculum. We started with the end in mind, so it took a lot of research at a lot of different curriculums, and I see I have a spelling error in there. Western curriculum protocol was actually what we were looking for. But we reviewed a lot of curriculums because we wanted to see what they had for objectives and outcomes. So what do their students know when they come out, and what are they able to do? And we also wanted to look at the focus on know versus the focus on do as well, as we were making decisions around our world curriculum. We started with grade 12, and because that's where our students are going to have mastery. And this year we've been working on the grade 10 curriculum. So we worked backwards and just took a lot of these other curriculums into mind, but then put them aside and put our goals forefront. We want to blend the best of the East and the West. We want high academic standards. Actually, all of those choices that I gave you for what would you focus on, all of those are in our World School curriculum. So as we started to develop them, we looked around for some guidance, and UK NARIC is an accreditation body that's out of the UK, and we visited them and we showed them our plans and got their approval and started down a relationship with them, and they are going to provide us with guidance over the next 3 years as we develop our curriculum. So the grade 10 curriculum will be launched soon, like in a week and a half. Which means I have a lot to do in the next week and a half. But once it has launched, they will have a look at it being implemented in our schools, and they will tell us what level it compares to, and they will give us some guidance on the development of it. We've also been involving, we have many university partners. As I told you, we visited 44 universities before we embarked on the World School curriculum development. And many of those university partners are actively providing us with guidance. So we've developed 3 different math streams. They have advised us on everything from what those math streams should look like to what we should name courses so that universities recognize them quite easily. So it's been a very collaborative effort, collaborative within Maple Leaf as well, because we have 22 team members here in Maple Leaf. They are teachers who are in the classroom on a daily basis, working with students and designing a curriculum for those students. We have a fellow who has a PhD in curriculum development. We have administrators, we have editors. Our 22-member team breaks off into smaller teams, and we're working very collaboratively. And we're having a lot of fun with it too. It's not all drudgery creating a curriculum. I think we quite enjoy a lot of the debates that we have as we make decisions around what is really going to work for our students and what's going to prepare them for university. Feedback from our system is very important. On May 8th, we opened our SharePoint site to all of our administrators so that they could read our drafts. And then on June 1st, we opened it to our teachers. And then we collect their feedback. And we have amazing teachers who have read through word for word every single document that's in the course that they are passionate about. And then they give us their honest feedback. And then they also offer to contribute to that curriculum too. So that's been a really amazing experience for our writers. And it just reflects that collaborative nature of Maple Leaf. That was my segue into this one. I think a good example of how collaboration is just part of the culture here at Maple Leaf is how we have weathered the last semester. We knew, at the beginning of February, as the world did, that there was, the second semester was not going to be business as usual. We have 400 and some teachers, about 405 teachers, close to 400, who were all on vacation. It was Chinese New Year, and our teachers come from all over the world, and they had a month off. So they were everywhere in the world when they found out that returning to China was not going to be a good idea or was not going to be possible. We were supposed to be back to work on February 17th. 2 weeks before that, our IT team and our system coordinators worked together to develop a plan. And starting on February 17th, our teachers spent a week training on Canvas and then a week working within their teams at their school with their department heads, with their system coordinators to put courses on Canvas that could be accessible to our students on March 2nd. So the students in British Columbia did not have the opportunity to finish their year, but the students at Maple Leaf did. And our grade 10, 11s, and 12s are still doing the BC curriculum. We don't start the world's curriculum until the fall. But the grade 12s have been able to graduate with their dogwood. They've been able to finish everything. And our teachers just pulled together and supported each other. So that collaboration has been really super important. Sorry, I had to just do that little segue off there. And just coming back to the curriculum, the World School curriculum, common skills and language are built in across it. So as I mentioned earlier, we've got cross-curricular skill development. We've developed rubrics for the entire system. And we have also a culture of continuous improvement. We know from experience that just because this course looks really good on paper doesn't mean that everything's going to work when it's implemented in the fall. So we have built-in contingencies and ways to collect feedback so that if we need to make adjustments, we will. We have our system coordinator and our curriculum team will be working really closely with teachers just to find out what's working well and what we can do to make things even better. So I wanted to let you know a little bit more about the professional development that is available to teachers and all of the support that we provide to our teachers. I think in the past, Maple Leaf had many brand new teachers who were coming to Maple Leaf, and it was recognized that coming straight out of university, coming straight to China, there were some specific needs that they needed. There were some specific needs that we needed to support our teachers with. So we developed a curriculum hub and a training hub. So on our training hub is all of the training that is available to our teachers. So we've got videos, we have recorded sessions of professional development, we have the 12 key teaching strategies, we have specific things around assessment that have to do with the BC program. And then we're also developing all this for the World School program as well. In addition, we have a training hub on SharePoint too, and the training hub will provide you with, if you need some help with using your Office 365 or you want to use Teams, there's all kinds of videos that will help you with that, even things like developing spreadsheets. We know that our teachers are lifelong learners and we want to support them in that, and so we do so with our training hub. We support them with their curriculum implementation through the curriculum hub as well. And then we are developing right now for August a Canvas course, which will be an introduction to Maple Leaf and to the Maple Leaf World School. So as soon as our teachers sign on and they get their email from Maple Leaf, all of this is accessible to them. In addition to this, we provide an orientation and professional development in August. And then, as I said earlier, we have ongoing professional development. And I think that's one of the things that I hear most from our sister BC schools is that Maple Leaf has an excellent system of supporting our teachers through the system coordinator development, the department heads, but we also really take professional development seriously. All right, and this brings me to our third poll question. And then after this, I'm just going to open it up for some questions. So let's go to our third question. And what I'm interested in knowing from you is what kind of professional development works best for you? I know that not everyone likes online, but some people really like it. Do you like to revisit things throughout the year, or do you like to move on to new things? Have you used PLCs before, and is that an option that you think is it works for you, or is there something else that you like? All right, I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds. Okay, and I'm going to end the polling now, and I'll just share the results out with you. And I think that I would agree, ongoing sessions throughout the year tends to be something that most teachers like, and I think it allows us to develop some depth to our understanding as well. Okay, and as you can see, I've turned my video on, and you can see that I'm very poorly lit here, although tomorrow I get to do a webinar in the daytime, so hopefully the lighting won't be so bad. But I just wanted to open up and see if there's anyone who has any questions, and if you raise your hand, I should be able to allow you to talk. I have a raised hand. Oh, it's Carla. Hi, Carla. If you unmute yourself, there you go. Hi, Carla.
How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for joining us tonight, or this morning, or this afternoon.
This afternoon it is here in Italy. I was just curious with regards to using either Office 365 and Teams and stuff like that. What happens at the start of the year if everything is still closed down? What sort of like, how will we be teaching our lessons, basically, if I can ask?
Wow, really great question, and something that just might happen. We really don't know. First of all, we're super hopeful that we're going to have everybody here on time, but we are preparing plan A, B, C, D, and E. If we see that things are not going to open up exactly when we would like it, what we'll do is we'll push the school year back to the middle of September. But I can't see us pushing it back further than that. Probably what is most likely will happen if it has to be pushed back into October is we will begin with some courses on Canvas. And right now we've got close to 7,000 students being taught by 400 teachers, 190 of which are not here in China. So we know we can do this. But before we do that, we would prepare our new teachers on Canvas. So we have a Canvas learning course and we have support systems in place for you. And the other thing that we have is our department heads and system coordinators will share entire courses with folks. So we want to work together so that we're not reinventing the wheel all the time and that we're sharing with folks. And we make sure that you are well supported if we have to start with that platform at the beginning of the year. We've thrown around a few possibilities. We know that our grade 10s, if we have to start with them online, are our most vulnerable students. So we would reduce their course load. So if you're a grade 10 teacher, maybe you only have 1 or 2 classes of grade 10s to start with, so that you're not chasing 100 students around who are brand new to all of this. So we're looking at some ways to make it easy for you to connect with students if we have to start online at the beginning. So very much fingers crossed though, and I hope that you are in a safe and comfortable place in Italy, Carlo.
Thanks very much for that. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Anyone else want to venture a question? Hi, Daisy.
Hi, I'm currently a ESL teacher at Maple Leaf, and I'm moving over to the side. And I was just wondering how the ESL department is going to be connected to the War School curriculum.
Very connected, actually. I work with Jessica quite closely. Connected through our bridging program, because we will have some World School introductory courses within our bridging program. Connected through Canvas. Connected through the knowledge of our curriculum. Jessica and her team was included on May 8th when we opened up the curriculum so that they could look. And we've also had an ESL teacher who's been, sorry, I should say former ESL teacher who moved to the high school, who has been advising us as well. So someone who knew the ESL program very well, who's helping us to bridge that, that gap from the Foundations of Bridging programs to the World School program. So very involved.
Okay, great.
Thank you. What city are you in?
I'm currently in England, but I teach in Shanghai.
Oh, in Shanghai. Well, I hope you can make it back soon. And I hope you're safe
crossed.
there in the UK.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for your question. Anyone else who would like to ask a question? Hi, Dennis.
Hi, Jacalyn. Firstly, I would like to congratulate Maple Leaf on the approach with regards to professional development and also the development of the curriculum hands-on.
Thank you, Dennis.
And especially starting with the end in mind. That is the way that teaching should go, or education nowadays. I would just like to make sure, when will we have access to all of this? Is it only when we get there, or are all of these modules part of the Office 365 account?
As soon as you have a Maple Leaf Office 365 account, you can go on to SharePoint and you have access to the MLWS Curriculum Hub. And you also have access to the BC Curriculum Hub. So currently our grade 11 and 12 courses are under the BC curriculum, and our grade 10 courses are under the MLWS curriculum. The World School Curriculum courses are still in draft form, and we are still collecting teacher feedback and making adjustments. But as of the 1st of July, they'll be pretty much live, although we still might tweak things in that too. You will have access to a Canvas course that dives fairly deep into the World School Curriculum. I've just given you kind of the skimming along the surface thing, like it goes into assessment and much deeper, but you will have access to that in August. Because I'm making it right now.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Good luck with
Thanks
it.
for your question, Dennis.
Right.
Okay, let's take one more question. Everyone is totally content. Fantastic. All right. Well, if anyone has a burning question, they can raise their hand as I am saying good night, good morning, or good afternoon to you all. I want to thank you very much for joining me for the last hour. I've squeezed a lot in. As I said, I've only skimmed the surface. There will be much more information coming to you if you have plans to join us as a Maple Leaf teacher. If you're looking for more information about how to join us, please go to that website and start down that process. And there are folks there who will give you lots more information. I look forward to hopefully seeing you in the fall in person here in China, perhaps on Zoom, perhaps through a Canvas course, and look for the opportunity to share lots more information with you at that time. All right. Oh, I'm going to answer one more question. I'm sorry, I just saw this in chat before I say goodbye. PLCs, professional learning communities, they are part of our schools, and they are groups of teachers who get together and talk about teaching and learning and student success, and they just share their experiences as teachers and collaborate. So those are PLCs. Rodney, thank you for that question. Thank you, everyone. I bid you adieu. Take care.